Hi there, welcome back. How are you, my beautiful beings? How are you feeling? So in this beautiful video, I just wanted to respond to a beautiful comment that came through this week that really resonated with me throughout most of my life. And that is that we don't trust that our spirit guides or that spirit, God, has our back. Now, this was me for a really, really long time. Really long time. For most of my life, I felt alone. I felt that I had to do it all alone. And there was nobody, nobody here for me. I had to work it all out. That's what I felt throughout my life. So I know what that feels like. Now, what was coming through, there's two parts to this question, to this comment, I guess. And that is, firstly, trust. What was coming through as I was reading that is that we learn not to trust. This is something we learn. It's a learned behavior. Just like learning that you're not worthy, learning that you're not good enough, all of these things, we learn them here. It's a learned behavior. So if we learned it, we can unlearn it. That's the beauty of it. That's the magic. If you could learn it, you can unlearn it. Always. Right? That was the first thing that was coming through. Not trusting is a learned behavior. And understanding that it comes from childhood, right? Because we're around these grown-ups that bring us into the world. They're supposed to protect us. They're supposed to keep us safe, support us. And for many of us, we do not feel that that's what they gave us. We don't feel that at all. And that's where we learn to not trust. Because we didn't feel safe around them. We didn't feel safe. So, a fear is created around all of that. Abuse, neglect, whatever it is we went through in our childhood. There's a fear created around that to keep us safe. And for many of us, that fear turns into control. As an adult, you just want to control everything. You become a control freak, a perfectionist. I was one of those. So, this is how it manifests later in your adult years. Trying to control everything, that everything has to be perfect. Because if there's one little thing out of place, suddenly I don't feel safe. This is how it comes out. So, not trusting is something that we learn from what we've experienced, right? In our childhood. So that was the first part of that comment. Knowing that that's where it comes from. Understanding that we came here to learn. What does it feel like when you can't trust the beings that bring you into the world? Right? What does that feel like? Going into your adult years and you just don't trust anyone. You don't trust life itself. You don't trust spirit. It just dumped you here to have this, life of suffering and pain. And what's the point? What's it all about? And I remember in my first depression, I was so angry with God because I kept asking him to just take me. As a Catholic, I knew that I couldn't commit suicide, but I just didn't want to be here every day. I prayed and prayed and prayed that I would die and that God would just take me. And after about 1.5 years of that, I was so over it. I was so angry with God that he left me here. I was so angry that I refused to talk to him for a really long time. I was like, I'm done with you now. You're going to ignore me while I'm down here suffering. That's it. I'm not talking to you. I don't even, acknowledge your existence. That's it. And so I went through those adult years. This was in my early 20s. So I went through all that time, so with so much resentment. Now I've got resentment with God as well, not just with my mum. So, but that's trust. So that's the part that I wanted to talk about first, or we wanted to bring up first. Now, what my spirit guides were bringing up that you can do, at any time. Firstly, you need to acknowledge that spirit guides exist. If there's no belief that they exist at all, remember what you see up here is what is your reality. What you see. If you can't see it up here, if you can't see that spirit guides exist, then they can't exist for you. They just can't. Because you can't see it. What you see is what you manifest into your reality. It's just how it works. It's like you are the projector and the world is your screen. That's it. And what you see up here is what you will see out there in the world. Now for you, if angels don't exist, spirit guides don't exist, it's all baloney. They can't exist. Notice I don't say they don't. I say they can't. Because they go against what you believe. And if you believe strongly that they don't exist, they can't. They can't go against your free will. And there's a reason that you don't believe in them. And it's because it's not part of your path. It's not part of what you're doing here. And know in your heart that if you don't believe in them, it doesn't make you any better or any worse. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you anything. It's just not part of your path. It's that simple. That simple. Perhaps you're here to develop other gifts inside of you that have nothing to do with any of that. All right? So we're here to talk about the spirit guides because I've noticed there's been a lot that have voted in the spirit guides. So what my spirit guides was saying is firstly that there needs to be a belief that they exist. Even if you can't see them, you can't hear them, a belief. The possibility, yes, maybe they exist. Even just the maybe opens up the door a little bit for them. Maybe. So there's that. You have to decide for yourself, do I believe or not? And whichever one it is, be okay with it. Be fine with it. It's not part of my path. It's that simple. It doesn't make me any better than anyone else. It doesn't make me any less. It doesn't mean anything. It's just not for my path. So if you are on the side of yes, maybe they exist, or yes, I definitely believe that they exist, and you can see it in your mind, you can see that they exist and they're all around you all the time, or even if it's just one, yes, I believe that I have this spirit guide, this one spirit guide, whatever it is. So my beautiful team, what they're bringing up is to ask them to show you signs. Ask for something. Ask for something specific. And, you know, it can be as simple as, we usually start simple. That's what the whole Spirit Guides course is about. We start really simple, like asking for a feather, because that's simple. It's easy to manifest a feather. And so you ask your beautiful spirit guide or guides, whoever it is you are talking to. You are acknowledging that they exist when you speak to them. And you say to them, you know what? Today I want you to bring me a feather. And you can be specific. I want a white feather or a black feather or whatever feather you want. It's your, have fun with it. Ask for something. Some people like to ask for a flower or ask for whatever it is. Whatever it is. Ask for it. Just yesterday, I was thinking where I used to work a few months ago, this time of year, every year, because I'd been there for over 5 years, there would be all these beautiful blue butterflies in her garden. I just really looked forward to going to her place in spring because there would be blue butterflies and I would see them every morning that I went to her house, and I was there Monday to Friday, every morning. My blue butterflies. And now I'm scattered. She passed away in March, and I'm scattered on all these other jobs. And all these other jobs that I go to, none of them I haven't seen the blue butterflies. I haven't seen them in a while since I left her place. And I was saying to my spirit guides yesterday, I really miss the blue butterflies. And lo and behold, yesterday, the elderly lady I was taking care of sent me to the chemist. She needs all these medications. And the lady behind the counter pulled out an address book, and there was a beautiful painted blue butterfly on the cover on both sides of the book. And so I said to my spirit guides, thank you. It can be something that simple. I asked in the morning, and by lunchtime, I had my blue butterflies, Not the same as the real life ones, but I wasn't specific. I didn't say I wanted the real life ones. I just said I missed my blue butterflies, and that's how they appeared. And I have a friend at the moment visiting Australia. It was so funny. And she was the same, you know, this beautiful spiritual being that is constantly manifesting beautiful things. And she said to me, she sent me a picture because she was asking for a black cockatoo. You know, she really loves black cockatoos. And of course, she wasn't specific. So the next thing she knows is it's a sticker on the back of a van, you know. So she sent me that and we were both laughing. And then when I saw the blue butterflies on the book, I was laughing because I was like, we have to be specific down to the last detail. This is what I want. So know in your heart that whatever, it can be a butterfly if you like, you know, whatever it is. And then just be on the lookout for it. Know within your heart that your spirit guide is on it. You have to trust. This is where we have to learn to trust again. You know, that they are there and that they're, you know, working with you, with your soul. They already know what your path is. They're working side by side with your beautiful soul. So, you know, ask for something is what my spirit guides were telling me today to bring forward here. It is so simple. Ask for something simple, you know, and something that you don't see every day, you know, like a feather or like a blue butterfly or like something simple like that, you know, a particular bird, something that it's not something you see. If it's going to be something you see every day, then you're going to be doubting, well, did my spirit guide bring this forward? Or, you know, that's always there, you know. So ask for something that you don't usually see every day. And then just trust, have faith within yourself that they are listening. Have that faith. Trust that they are there because they are. It's like the air that you breathe. You don't need to believe in it for it to be there. It's there. Every second you receive that beautiful breath. And it keeps you alive. You don't need to believe in it for it to be there. Your spirit guides are the same. They don't need you to believe that they're there, working behind the scenes. They are there. They are there. And you can start having a conversation with them. But first you need to acknowledge that they exist. You need to acknowledge. You need to say within yourself, even just maybe, okay, maybe they exist. I'm going to at least entertain that idea that maybe they exist. Maybe. And then play with that maybe. You know? But for me, it's always about expecting it because I've asked them for this, whatever it is. I'm expecting that to show up. Because I know, I mean, I've manifested so many times with them already. I already know, you know, that it's going to happen because it does. Sometimes not the way we expect. But again, like I said, sometimes it's because we're not specific, you know, as to exactly what it was that we were asking for, you know. So keep that in mind as well. Whatever shows up, have a giggle after if it's not exactly. And let us know in the comments, you know, if you have had these moments already with your beautiful spirit guides. What is it that you asked for and what was it that came up? You know, what was it that showed up for you? And, you know, after you asked, I'd love to hear all those stories because I just love those stories, you know, when people share. One of my favorites is my beautiful friend in New Zealand asked for a red butterfly one day. And I was like, a red butterfly? And I looked up where red butterflies are and they don't grow in New Zealand. So I was like, wow, okay, a red butterfly. This was years ago now, you know, before I started to notice all of this. And I thought, a red butterfly. Anyway, I left it, you know, just put it out of my mind because I thought I'm not the one that asked for it. Because here in Australia, we do have them. They're not where I am, but they are further up north. You know, there's a spot where they grow. I didn't even know they existed until she told me. I thought, okay. And apparently she was at this beautiful concert with her daughter and they had an intermission, you know, for the band to go and, you know, have a break and then come back. And in the intermission, she went to the bathroom and she said, as she went to the bathroom, she sent me photos. As she went to the bathroom, all the walls were covered in these huge red butterflies. I don't know why, but, you know, and this was like 3 days after she'd asked for them. And when she sent them to me, I just couldn't stop laughing, you know. They're always listening, but you've just got to have that faith you know, that when you ask for something, they are there to serve you, to assist you on your journey. You know, you just have to have faith and expect it. Expect that because you've asked, you know, they will bring it forward for you. And that's how you start this beautiful relationship with your spirit guides. It's not about trusting. Yes, trust is a big part. But I didn't trust for a long time, and I still asked, you know. I didn't trust they were there until the more you ask, the more they start to show up. And then that trust just, you just know they're there. You know, there's no more need for that. I don't trust that they're there. You don't need that anymore because they've shown up so many times. You've asked them so many times for signs that you just know within yourself. Oh, they are there. They are listening. They do have my back. What we have to learn to trust is that if something hasn't shown up that we've asked for, there's a reason for that. Perhaps it's not part of your path, or perhaps it's not the time for it yet. We need to trust in all of that. You know, there is such a thing as divine timing. We need to sometimes clear all the things that are in the way for something to show up for us. All right, my beautiful beings, trust. So we hope that this fills you with playfulness, you know, with excitement, to have fun with your beautiful spirit guides, because that's all they want to do. They want to have fun with you too, you know. All right, my beautiful beings. And let us know in the comments. Share your beautiful experiences. We would love to hear, you know, the experiences you have had with your spirit guides when you've asked for something and how it's shown up. So we love listening to all your stories. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.